placed on November 3rd, 2009 election ballot for City of Whitehall for the residents to vote on whether the City of Whitehall shall prohibit the harboring of breed-specific dogs and declare an emergency.
Well, actually, I mean, is this how it's going to be read, just like this?
No, that's not how it's going to be on the ballot.
No, but I mean...
that's just the title.
That's the title.
Well, because it's, I mean, it's more than that. Harboring a breed commonly known as pit bull, and secondly, that the second is banning vicious animals.
This is just the title of the legislation.
Right.
And not what would be on the ballot.
Right, I understand, but this
about,
is...
last week, the resolution happened.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you. But it's actually two issues prohibited, and that's not correct that it harboring of breed-specific dogs. It's just a breed commonly known as a pit bull, and secondly, whether the city should ban vicious animals. So there's two questions to it, and that should be in the heading as that. This is very misleading because we're not asking to ban all, and we're not asking for the capability.
That clear. My intentions, is not to go back and try to ban the dog. My intentions in this is the job that we have done here on City Council and what we have put in place. Do the residents feel safe? Because we have permitted to have this breed of dog in our community. So my question is going back, asking, do you feel safe with what council has done? Yes or no, basically. If not,
And that's the question we should have asked.
Right, it should be simpled down as much as possible, because you yourself said that you want it so simple that it
right,
makes
listing the breed of dog.
citizens.
I don't have my legislation in front of me, but, on this breed of dog, do you feel, well, it's not safe. The word safe is not in there, and I know that, so I shouldn't say that. But going back to it, if the citizens are happy with what we put in place, then we're done. If not, then we need to go back and retweak. Now, whether that means more guidelines or, limiting the amount of that breed of dog or grandfathering them out. I mean, my intentions here is not to go after these owners and make them get rid of their dog. That's not what my intentions are.
But that's the question.
The question is, do you want this breed of dog? Because if they say yes, it's fine, then we know we've done our job. If they say no, then we need to go back and revisit the situation. So again, it's that breed of dog, because that's been the thing for 18 months, pit bull. So again,
breed specific.
Right. But that's the question we need to ask, because that is what we're trying to get resolved, so this is over with.
But if you want to know if the people are satisfied with what we've done so far legislatively, then that should be the question. The question that you're proposing for the ballot is a totally different question, and it has a totally different meaning.
Okay, and yes, and you're right. That is right. I mean, I didn't go out and say, do you feel safe in your community with the breed of dog? I mean, that's not how I should have probably came across with it. But that's the question that hopefully what they answer will come across, whether or not, and 3 pit bulls on one, property, and,
But what you were just talking about is totally different than what you had in the proposal. That's what I'm saying.
Well, shall Whitehall prohibit the harboring of these dogs? Do you want them in your city? Do you feel safe? Is basically.
But you're asking if they should prohibit a dog involved in the situation.
No. There's two different ones. One is situation, one's not.
Well, the top one.
One talks about an incident.
You're pointing to the top one right there.
Which has been declared vicious by a court of law or a vicious appeals board. That's question one, if someone should be allowed to still harbor that dog.
So you're referencing.
And then 2 is, then shall the city of Whitehall prohibit the harboring of those dogs listed in those specific breeds?
Those breeds.
Right. So again, for people to say, to stand up at National Night Out, and I'm just, and And for me to be told that it's appalling and that I'm a spoiled brat, that's very upsetting to me, because when I swore myself into my seat, it was to protect the citizens and to look at my community as a whole, for everybody. I'm not sitting here trying to judge or criticize the dog here. I've been labeled that. That's fine. But I do feel that I don't know what anybody else has gone through at this table, but I know a lot of people have come up to me and said, don't give up. Keep fighting for our safety. I know that. So I'm not trying to, put it out there that, you guys aren't getting that too, but you guys have been the voice in the other direction, so you're probably getting more of those comments like I am, but in the other direction. So, again, I want to know, my personal thing is, with what we've done, have we done our job? Are the citizens safe? Yes or no? Do they want these dogs in our community? Yes or no? And move forward. And if we have to go back and tweak it, we go back and tweak it to better, provide safety to our citizens. If they are fine with everything that we've done our job, and this should never come to the table again.
Well, again, I would say then that, what should be on there would be, do you feel Whitehall has made has taken significant measures to help protect its citizens through legislation?
Jackie's making a face, and what's the problem?
Well, no, that's the question she says she's asking, but that's not.
She's just asking, let's settle the issue. Do you want to have pit bulls in the city or not?
Well,
Yes
she
or
should have said that.
But the question that we had
do
was,
you want to allow vicious animals that have been deemed such by a court of law, which means they've attacked somebody or another animal?
that's what this says.
So, and that's
but that's
what
not what she
Leslie's-
just said.
Well,
There's a discrepancy. I agree with what you're saying. I have a problem with what is written, and that's the impasse we're at.
And you wouldn't
Well,
be willing to come up with that?
If you guys want to work with me, then I will work with you.
Leo offered. But you would
Leo
not take
offered,
his...
yeah, but the thing with Leo's, and I think Leo came over to my house. We had a good conversation on the issue. But what I saw is what I presented. Everybody at the table really had no questions for. But what Leo presented, everybody came back and had 100 questions. So I didn't think his was being understood enough that it couldn't go onto the ballot that way with people not there to answer the questions like we needed questions answered at the table that night. And I've explained that to Leo. So
I agree it provoked conversation, but I thought it was more conversation and agreement, and not so much to read, to change what he was saying. I kind of liked a lot of what his statement says. I think it's closer to where we need to be.
well, the problem as I see it in Leo's language is he asked people, do you want to ban any breed?
No,
and
I did
this
not.
question came up with some of the voters. Well, what's to keep you from banning Rottweilers next, and Dobermans next, or Poodles? But this is quite simple. Do we want to ban pit bulls from the city? Period. Not other breeds. Nobody's suggesting that.
There's a lot of people out there that does not want that. So, and then, but you have to be fair to really get down to what the citizens want as a whole community. And that should be the main thing. Now, whether or not, it doesn't ban the dog, it doesn't, but it makes us look at it as, for, the future. What do we do? How do we protect, the people here, and so that they want to continue to come into our city?
Yeah, that's